Marriage was never meant to be a bed of roses, but it's also not supposed to be a bed of prickly thorns. That said, every marriage is unique, and as unique as the combination that the two individuals within it will make when they come together. No other two people on planet Earth can make that self-same combination. And this means that the challenges that couples face in marriage are going to be different, and the solutions to them are unlikely to be a one-size-fits-all. That said, there are particular things that you can note in a marriage that make you realize that things have gone awry, that they're not as they should be. And I want to give a couple of them here. There are constant arguments and constant conflict, and the two of you are never able to successfully navigate these conflicts, resolve and repair them. Repair the bad feelings that arise when this happens, and the arguments are recurrent and they're about the same thing. 2, every argument is never what the argument is about. They're always undercurrents, things simmering underneath. So when things happen, what is happening is never really what the argument is about. It's about other unresolved issues in the past. There is a complete breakdown in communication. Number 3, neither of you is able to be vulnerable and express what you're really feeling. No communication is ever deep and thoughtful. Everything is superficial, maybe to do with logistics, the things that bind you together. You're speaking to each other, but the conversations don't really have any depth. They're very much on the surface, very much superficial. No discussions about future goals, plans, feelings. Everything is superficial. Another thing that makes you know that your marriage is a little bit off is that you'd rather be by yourself than with this person. You don't miss them when they're gone. You don't long for them to be back. And you reside under the same roof and even possibly sleep in the same bed. But you're essentially strangers. You're really roommates. You find yourself sharing your day-to-day with someone else. These are emotional affairs. Sometimes it's girlfriends if it's a guy, or guy friends if it's girlfriends, if it's a girl, or guy friends if it's a guy. But sometimes it's members of the opposite sex, and this can be dangerous. All the things you're supposed to be sharing with your spouse, you're sharing them with somebody else. In the relationship, there's constant criticism. Everything about your spouse irritates you, and you find the need to repeatedly voice it out in a negative manner. You find that you have an inability to extend any grace whatsoever to this person. Emotional intimacy is completely lacking. That feeling of closeness and comfort that you feel with a person that allows you to just be is non-existent, It's been eroded completely. There's no emotional intimacy at all. Physical intimacy is few and far between, or not at all. In some cases, people haven't been physically intimate for years, maybe for at least 6 months or even longer. You're keeping secrets from this person, or you're even outrightly lying to this person about certain things. This indicates a lack of trust and inability to be vulnerable. And this is the foundation of any relationship. You're having an affair, and it could be a physical affair, but it could also just be an emotional affair, as spoken about before. You're discussing things that you shouldn't discuss with this person, with this other person, and instead of discussing them with your wife or your husband. There are no more arguments. You have shut down, and you're no longer talking about anything. You don't complain about anything. You don't bring up any conversations. You're just kind of there, but you're not really there. And then the power dynamic in your marriage is askew. You feel that you have to say, you have no say in what's happening in the relationship with regard to interpersonal reactions. The power dynamic is skewed. Now, if you discover that these things are in your marriage, then something is definitely wrong. And in my book, And Boom, Bob's Your Uncle, and For Real, Fanny's Your Aunt, I give you 3 things that you can do if you find yourself in this situation. And so, yeah, get the book and find out what they are. Option 1, option 2, and option 3.